Hello all, welcome back to my class. This is Keerthana, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Don Bosco College, Siliguri Hills. And today's class we shall see Othello, written by William Shakespeare. And in today's class we shall see the title information, and then the author information, character analysis, key facts, and then themes, and then followed by the conclusion. Next. So the title information. Othello, we used to say the Othello was the tragedy of Othello or else the Moor of Venice. So the Othello, the play was written by William Shakespeare, the poet, actor and the playwright, and he was born 26th April 1564 in UK, and then he wrote 39 plays. It was divided into 4 categories, that was histories, comedies, tragedies and romances, and then it was published during the year of 1593 to 1601, and then it was published as a collection in the period of 1609. He wrote 154 sonnets, and then it was the first 1 to 126 sonnets was addressed to the young man, and then the remaining sonnets addressed to the dark lady, and then it was collected edition of Shakespeare's dramatic works. It was called as a first folio edition. It was published during the year of 1623, and then his first play was The Two Gentlemen of Verona, and then his last play was The Two Noble Kingsmen. And then Shakespeare didn't write all his plays alone, and then he occupies a unique position in the world, and then he was died in the year of 23rd April 1606, and then he was buried 2 days later in Stratford Church, UK. And then the character analysis. Othello was the protagonist of this play, and then he was playing the main role in this play. And then Othello is a dashing which means a very attractive personality, and then having full confidence, and then very strong, and then he was a military hero and a Moor and a native of North Africa. And then he was living in a society that was considering him as a somewhat outsider. Though he belongs to Venice now, the whole society, the people belongs to Venice, consider him as an outsider because he belongs to North African Moor Muslim. And then he was a man of extraordinary dignity who is having depth of truth in his personality, and then he belongs to Venetian army, and then Othello is a Desdemona's husband, and then greatest love of Desdemona, and then he is a great hero to Desdemona, and then he is a great lord to her. And then Desdemona is a Venetian pale-skinned beauty girl, and then who is madly in love with Othello, and then they both of them eloped, and then they got married without his father's permission, without her father's permission. And then this causes a great impact on Desdemona's father, and then she was very loyal, loving, and then devoted wife to Othello. And then Desdemona accompanies Othello on his military mission to Cyprus, and then she was very submissive girl. In the same time, she used to be very rebellious, and then Desdemona is a delight to analyze in the whole play. And then Rodrigo, another suitor of Desdemona, he was highly manipulated by Iago because Rodrigo was fall in love with Desdemona, but Iago was unable to manipulate him directly, but he was convinced him lot of ways. And then he was very young, rich, and then foolish because he doesn't aware of Iago's manipulation. And then Rodrigo is convinced that if he gives Iago all of his money, Iago will help him to win Desdemona's hand. And then Iago was repeatedly frustrated as Othello marries Desdemona, and then he takes her to Cyprus. Othello takes her to Cyprus, and then Rodrigo is ultimately desperate enough to agree to help Iago to kill Cassio, because in one point of time Iago was manipulated that Cassio is another suitor of Desdemona, and then he was planning that Cassio and then Desdemona is having illegal affair, both of them. And then Cassio is a lieutenant of Othello, and then Cassio is a young and then inexperienced soldier whose high position is much resented by Iago, and then truly devoted to Othello. And then Cassio is extremely ashamed after being implicated in a drunken incident, all those things. It was extremely manipulated and then planned by Iago, because he was promoted into a lieutenant to Othello. So this caused Iago to make him a bad to of others. And then Iago uses Cassio's youth and then good looks, friendship with Desdemona to play and Othello's insecurities about Desdemona's loyalty. And then very important character of this play is Iago. He plays a major role in this play because he is the antagonist and then villain of this play, and then he is 28 years old, and then Iago's motivation is never clear, because he used to manipulate Rodrigo, and then he used to manipulate Othello because he wants to be a very higher position than the Othello, and then in the end he kills his wife and he was sent to trial. And then Brabantio, Desdemona's father, and then he have some self-important towards the Venetian people, and then he is as a friend of Othello. Brabantio feels that betrayed when the general marries his daughter in secret, because he doesn't like the both of them got married. They eloped and then they got married without Brabantio's knowledge. And then another character is Bianca. Bianca is a courtesan, and then she is a prostitute in Cyprus. And then Bianca's favorite custom is Cassio, and then Cassio is often giving the promises like he will definitely marry Bianca. And then the next important character is Emilia. Emilia is Iago's wife and then Desdemona's maid, and then she is a cynical, which means very distrustful wife to Iago, and then she used to mock her husband often, and then she is a deeply attached her mistress and distrustful of her husband, and then she reveals the truth of her husband, and in the end Iago killed her, because while the conflict has been going on in between Othello and then Desdemona, she revealed the truth that he was the main reason, that is Iago was the main reason for this conflict, and then because of this reason Iago killed Emilia. And then all those other characters are minor character. They doesn't play a major role in this play. And then Duke of Venice, Lodovico, and then Gratiano, Venetian senators, and then clown. In Shakespeare's all the plays, clown used to be a main character, and then he is a comic servant to Othello and then Desdemona. And then next we shall see the key facts. In this play, Shakespeare has clearly viewed the tone of this play as a tragic, because it seems that in the end it used to end in the tragic view, which means like Desdemona and then Othello, they got married, but they didn't live very long life. They ends their life very short. And then setting of the play, and then setting the play was taken during the 16th century, and then the wars between the Venice and then Turkish, where Venice wants to completely destroy Turkish, and then Turkish people wants to completely occupy the Venice people land. And then the plays and only the first act was taken in the Venice country, the other was taken, the complete play was taken in the place Cyprus, and then the protagonist, of course we know that protagonist is Othello, and then major conflict between Othello and then Desdemona. They married, but they didn't build their life together. Despite their differences, age, race, experience, they got married, but so many reasons that destroyed their life completely. The main reason is Iago, who plays a vital role in their life completely. He spoiled his life. So the rising action between Iago and then Cassio. Iago manipulated Cassio that he is a lieutenant of Othello. He is manipulating Cassio that he wants to be a lieutenant to Othello. So unfortunately his manipulation successfully wins the heart of Cassio and then Rodrigo, and then he was manipulating Othello that Desdemona is unfaithful to Othello. And then climax, of course the play ends in where Othello kills his wife, and then he himself killed, and then he died. And then symbols, the main important symbol is the handkerchief of Desdemona, where Othello gifted that handkerchief to Desdemona. She unfortunately missed that handkerchief in the hotel, and then Emilia took that handkerchief. She has given that handkerchief to Iago, what he planned indirectly, he gave that handkerchief to Cassio in order to create the conflict between Cassio and then Othello. And then the next one is themes. In Shakespeare's play, in this Othello, we have seen three major themes. That is, the first one is jealousy, and then second one is racism, and then reality versus appearance. So in jealousy, the jealousy motivates the main characters in all the aspects. Iago is depicted as a jealous character, as we know that is manipulating Rodrigo and then Othello and then Cassio in order to achieve his place, and then is a main reason of this play to be as a jealousy person. And then he expresses dissatisfaction when Othello promotes Cassio as a chief lieutenant instead of him. And then a strong dislike has also its origin in suspecting Othello as having an affair with Emilia, his wife. And then his intense jealousy pushes him to take revenge on Othello, although these suspicions are only rumors. By having these rumors, he creates the extreme level of manipulation. And then by having this master plan of jealousy, Iago makes Othello suffer and then experience the torments of jealousy towards Desdemona and their supposed lover of Othello. And then the next theme is racism. So though Othello belongs to a Moor, that is a Muslim North Africa, the entire play is naming him as a barbary horse, thick lips, and then lascivious Moor. All these sub-names used to refer him as a Moor, which means a dark person who is having a very unkind of faces. And then the racist characters use these words to portray Othello as an animal or beast, and then not as a human being. And then though he was staying in the Venice, people in the country, they used to see him as an outsider because he belongs to a Moor family. And then he is thus considered as a outsider white Venetian culture, deserving less respect there because he was a Moor person, as I already told you, and then he received very less respect compared to the other people. And then the next one is reality versus appearance. So Iago maliciously uses all his words to manipulate others, that is the Othello, Rodrigo, Cassio, and then Emilia, all the peoples to manipulate in order to believe his words completely, and then make them believe whatever that he wants to achieve in his life. And then he attempts restlessly to mislead other characters, particularly Rodrigo and Othello, by encouraging them to misinterpret whatever he is telling. And then his intention to use Othello's honesty as a tool to deceive him serves as a warning for the audience to be cautious about the appearance. Though Othello is having very different kind of appearance, but in reality he used to be very different. He is very honest and then very truthful, and then he is a very dashing personality. All those consider him as a different personality, but in reality he received very less respect comparing to the other Venice people. And then what they are telling us, reality is not what one sees, that we are receiving in somewhat, it belongs to our inner consciousness. And then in the end, what we have seen, that Iago kills his wife because she revealed the truth of her husband. so Iago stabs his wife, that is Emilia, and then she dies because she accuses him as a danger and then conflict and then a reason, so many things she accuses. So he killed Emilia, and then Othello wounds Iago because Othello tries to kill Iago but only wounds him because after hearing Emilia's accuses, he comes to know the truth, and then Othello kills himself because he failed to understand Desdemona's emotions, he failed to understand Desdemona's love, true love, and then after killing himself he is telling, not I didn't hate but all in honor, and then he kisses Desdemona, and then Iago is arrested and then he was sent to trial, and then Othello wounds him because he was heard that everything was completely his misinterruption, and then Cassio is reinstated, and then Cassio is placed as a commander of governor of Cyprus. Instead of a lieutenant, he was promoted as a governor, and then Iago was manipulated Othello that his wife, that is Desdemona, was having illegal affair with Cassio. All those things manipulated him completely, and then he lost his sense of ability to understand both Cassio and then Desdemona's real truth affections, and then this leads to Othello to kill Desdemona with a pillow and then taking his own life, that I was told you already. He killed himself and then he died. That's all. Thank you.